YouTube? We got two unboxings for you today. First, we got the BrawlerGEN gamepad. This is for Sega Genesis / Mega Drive and the Sega Saturn from Retro Fighters. And second, we have the Retrobit Power Stick for NES, and then select Retrobit and third-party NES type consoles with the right kind of NES connection. So let's take a look at the Retro Fighters first. Now, Retro Fighters, I have their Dreamcast gamepad right now, and it's honestly the best Dreamcast controller I've ever used. I heard great things about how this feels, and I just picked up a Saturn and a Model 2 Genesis recently, and just got my JVC XI Genesis and Sega CD combo up and running again after about 5 years in the attic. So, excited to try this out. It's got the analog thumbstick here, which would be great for cursor-based games, which is, I'm in the middle of Police Knots right now on Saturn. The Hideo Kojima game, kind of the spiritual sequel to Snatcher. Also going to be great on shooting games like Zero Tolerance on Genesis is going to be great. Yeah, just a lot of applications here. Fighting games, obviously, doing any special moves on Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be fantastic, I hope. So let's take a look. Open it upside down here. So you get a manual here. And you get the keychain that they tend to include with all their controllers. Add that to the collection. And as you can see here, you get the two-headed port here. So you get the Sega Saturn, and the Sega Genesis, and Mega Drive here. And then if you flip this over, look at that. It feels great in the hands right now. The triggers feel good for Saturn games. Button feels very similar to the 6-button arcade pad for Genesis, and a lot like the stock Saturn controllers. The thumbstick feels real good. We'll see how the travels and everything when I'm playing. D-pad feels very OEM style, so definitely excited to try that out. Now let's I'll give full gameplay details and reactions once I get a chance to play around with that a little bit more. Now let's take a look at the Retrobit Power Stick for the Nintendo Entertainment System and select Retrobit and third-party consoles. As you can see, it's got the multi-directional joystick. It has micro switch buttons, which is really exciting because if you look at the NES Advantage, I have a couple of those. They just have those pressure buttons. They're not the most accurate, they're not the most comfortable or responsive. It's fine for certain games like Ninja Turtles, arcade, stuff like that, but not my favorite controller in the world. It has customizable buttons, which is really exciting. You can swap out buttons on the arcade stick itself, if I'm reading this correctly. And I have a bunch of extra buttons. I have a bunch of arcade 1-up units where I've swapped out buttons over the years, so I'll be excited to kind of tinker with that in the future and do a little bit of opening up for you guys. It has a 6-foot cable and the original NES port. So let's take a look. A lot of cardboard. You get the pretty basic instruction manual here. It's black and white, no frills, not much to it. Plug it in and go. So let's take a look at the arcade stick itself. As you can see, it looks a lot like the Advantage on the outside. It's plastic though, whereas the Advantage has a little more heft to it. But let's take a look at the stick here. Got some good clickiness to it. Feels really responsive. I got this select and start. Seems pretty sturdy. Not that you're going to use them a whole lot. The important thing, we got the B and A buttons. Got some nice jumpiness to them. So yeah, I'm excited to tear this apart, which I'll do right now, and let you guys see what the insides look like. So look at the bottom here. Hoping there's nothing underneath here. I'm gonna have to unscrew. Also, we have a screw here, and then underneath each of these feet, there's a screw as well. So I won't bore you guys with the unscrewing, but I'll show you what I did when I'm done. Be right back with this all open up for you guys. So yeah, as you guys can see here, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's try to pry this up. Found out the problem here. There's one more screw right underneath this sticker. That makes it a little bit easier. There we go. Comes off. So you can see here we got a four-sided gate here. And then, yeah, these are just typical of a lot of Sanwa clone type buttons. I have a lot of these laying around for my, like I said, my arcade 1-ups. They got the small clamps on them, and they're just spring-loaded here. So you can pop these out easily by just squeezing the tabs, pulling them out like that. And then, yeah, you can swap in new buttons as you see fit. That would have been nicer to have a little bit more of a substantial button, but I don't know if the case is deep enough to accommodate that, because they do, the true micro switch buttons seem to go a little bit deeper, like the HAP style. So yeah, I'll play around with that in the coming weeks, see what I can do with it. But yeah, I mean, these aren't bad buttons by any means. They're responsive. They're a hell of a lot better than what comes with the Advantage. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, these clamps, they come out easily. You just get the two terminals here. And you might need to grab some needle nose to kind of yank on it a little bit to get those out. But having changed a lot of these buttons before, it's a 5-minute job. You can swap out the stick if you want. Just get the removable plug there. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely looks like it's a well-built unit, even though it's substantially plastic. Excited to give it a whirl on some of the more arcade style, maybe a couple of the shooters for NES. But yeah, this is the Retrobit Power Stick. Let's put this back together so you can see how easily this all comes back together. There you go. As you can see, it's all put back together. Excited to try this out.